Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mamfokeng Lehlohonolo. I'm going to present a geometry of straight line. Actually, it is a revision of geometry of straight line. Right, and now let's get started. Let's have a look at what CAPS is saying about geometry of straight line. One, we have to look into the angles relationships. Two, we have to look into solving problems. Under angles relationships, we have to recognize and describe pairs of angles formed by one, perpendicular lines, two, intersecting lines, parallel lines cut by transversal. And then under solving problems, we are actually going to solve geometric problems using relationship between the lines of angles, between the angles described above. Right. Under angles relationships. This is what I want to share with you. An angle is a geometrical figure formed when two rays or lines, line segments meet at common vertex. This is what I'm actually referring to. This is a vertex. We have stationary arm. Angle is formed by a movable arm. There we are. And then I also wanted us to look into the different ways of labeling the angle. We have three ways in which angles between arms are labeled. One, using single letter. Two, using letters of the arms, using the subscripts. And then using single letter, you'll realize that angle is formed at letter B, and that angle is referred to as angle B. And then using letters of arms, angle is formed at B, and then we can refer to that angle as angle ABC, or we can also say it is angle CAB. And then the last way of labeling the angle, it is by using the subscript. The angle between arm AB and BC is labeled as angle B2, and the angle between arm AB and BD is labeled as angle B1. Right. Angle B1 can be said it is angle ABD, and then angle, or it can be, we can refer to it as angle B1. The same with angle ABC, we can say it is angle B2. Right, moving forward, let's have a look at what complementary and supplementary angles are. Under complementary angles, we have angles that add up to 90 degrees. The angles that add up to 90 degrees, we refer to them as complementary angles, and supplementary angles are the angles that add up to 180 degrees. And then here we are, the example diagram. We are having angle X plus angle Y being equals to 90 degrees. And the reason for that, it must be complementary angles. Right, and then coming to supplementary angles. In the above diagram, we are having X plus Y being equals to 180 degrees. That means the angles are supplementary, and the reason for that will be angles on a straight line. Right, moving forward, we are having properties of straight lines. Starting with the adjacent angles on a straight line. The adjacent angles on a straight line properties. Remember we said if we are having a straight line, angle X plus angle Y will give us 180 degrees. Right. So angle X and angle Y are referred to as adjacent angles on a straight line. Why? Because they simply share the common vertex and they lie on either side of the same arm. So in other words, adjacent angles are the angles that share the common arm, the common vertex, and they lie on either side of the same arm. So we can have adjacent angles on other figures except on, in fact, we can have adjacent angles in any other figure. No, it is not limited to angles on a straight line. As long as they share a common vertex and they lie on the either side of the same arm. Right. And the reason, as I've alluded, it will be angles on a straight line. Right. And then moving forward, let's now consider the second concept, which is solving problems. Under solving problems, we are going to solve based on angles that are formed on the straight lines. Right. So let's have a look at this number 1. This one, we are having the figure A, B, C, and then the arm BD. And then we have angle labeled X. We also have angle labeled 30. Right. Now, let's have a look at this one. In solving problems for the angles formed by the lines that we have referred to, you must have a statement. A statement is whereby you just create an equation, and a true equation for that matter. So you must have a statement, and then the statement in this case is x plus 30 is equal to 90 degrees. Now, for each and every statement that you are providing or that you are giving, you must also provide a reason for that statement. Right. So here we are. What will be the reason? The reason will be complementary angles on a straight line. Right. Now, the next step, we have actually created an equation. Now we have to solve the equation. Now you'll remember yesterday I was actually presenting the equations. So it is clear that if you are actually having problems with equations and it is not addressed, you are going to have problems, or your problem will be mostly in most of the concepts that we are dealing with in mathematics. In this case, we went back to the equations. So now we have to solve this linear equation. Now, yesterday I've indicated that for us to solve this equation, we must apply the additive inverse or the multiplicative inverse. By the way, you can even solve the equation by inspection. By inspection, it means you'll say which number when you add 30 to it will give you 90. And in that case, it will be 60. So, but in solving using the additive inverse and multiplicative inverse, we will be having this kind of a thing. You'll realize that yesterday I've also indicated that for us to find ourselves in this situation whereby it seems as if 30 degrees was taken from the left-hand side and to the right-hand side, and it changes side. It is due because we have actually applied the additive inverse of positive 30, which is negative 30. And therefore, the answer is actually 60 degrees. Therefore, x is equals to 60 degrees. Right. And then moving to the next activity. Determine with reason the value of the unknown small letters. Here we go. That is number 2. For number 2, we are having angle labeled 45 degrees. we have angle labeled 90 degrees, and we also have angle labeled X. And we have to solve for X as our unknown small letter. Right, as I've indicated, you must have a statement in order to be able to solve for X. So you come up with your own statement. So what will be your own statement look like? Your own statement will be look like this. That simply means you took 45, you added 90 degrees to 45. You also added X to 45 and 90 degrees, or to sum of 45 and 90 degrees, and it gives you 180 degrees. So for this statement, we want to understand why this statement, and then the reason must be provided. What will be the reason? The reason is angles on a straight line. These angles are formed on a straight line, and straight line angle is equal to 180 degrees. All right, and then we move forward. In moving forward, we are having we have to add 45 degrees as well as 90 degrees, and it gives us 135 degrees. And then 135 degrees plus X is equal to 180 degrees. Basically, we were just simplifying our equation by adding 45 degrees and 90 degrees. All right. And then moving forward, we applied the additive inverse. The additive inverse of 135 degrees will be a negative 135 degrees. And that is whereby you see 135 degrees, it is taken to the right-hand side, of course, in the correct manner. By applying the additive inverse, it becomes negative 135 degrees. Right, and then we go on. Going forward, we are having our answer as 45 degrees. Now, let me indicate to you, my dear grade 8 learners, that it marks the end of our lesson for today. But what I want you to actually remember is that you have to prepare in order to fare well in your exam. Please just take time and go through all the presentation that were presented to you, and keep on actually practicing. Remember that practice makes perfect. So we need to always interact in our mathematics, in our content from other subjects, in order to fare well. And I would like to say good luck for your paper on Friday, as well as for the paper 2 next week. Just go and ensure that you practice. I also posted the quiz for this lesson in the group, and then you will interact with that quiz, and good luck for the whole day. Thank you very much. This marks the end of our lesson.